Hey guys, Chong here, and today I want to talk about 9 suggestions to improve WorldView World. And these are things that I picked up in Beta Weekend 3 that I really think are going to improve WorldView World for both hardcore guilds and pugs. And if you have any added suggestions or comments on my suggestions, if you agree or disagree, please post them below. I will be submitting this to ArenaNet to hopefully improve WorldView World just a little bit. That's not to say that WorldView World isn't enjoyable in its current state. It's extremely fun. It's some of the most fun I've had playing a video game in quite some time. But I do think that there are some things that need to be fixed before launch. So the first thing that I think really needs to be improved, and this is first and foremost, and this probably will be fixed, is to fix the queue system. Obviously the queue system was extremely buggy in Beta Weekend 3, and it was something that they were aware about, but obviously just putting some sort of display number in the queue, also giving everyone an exact number of the max people that can be in at one time, things like that. Like I said, this will probably be fixed in some way before launch, or people are going to be pretty pissed. The second suggestion is to be able to see how much supply each person has displayed when clicking on them. Obviously just, your server, but it's extremely important to know how much supply everyone has, and especially with pugs and things like that, you don't necessarily know how much supply everyone has. So something like this, I don't know if they didn't do it on purpose, but it would be extremely easy to implement, and I think would really improve the gameplay for everyone involved. So suggestion 3 is to be able to see how much supply it takes to finish building unfinished siege weapons. Just a number next to the bar is really going to improve the gameplay overall for newer players and experienced players alike. There were often times where I would think I would finish building a siege weapon only to see that someone had like 8 supply when they built the siege weapon, so we were like 2 supply off. I really think this is a minor change that's really going to affect the game positively, because if a solo player sees that it only takes 10 more of their supply to build a trebuchet, they're going to be more likely to click the trebuchet. It's really going to get players more involved, I feel like. So number 4 is some way to prevent people from completely shutting an opponent out of a world. And this is something I feel like is probably kind of impractical for the most part, but at the same time it is something that might need to be addressed, because if you're in your home world where you have the big keep when you spawn, the other people that are spawning in these like little dinky piece of shit spawn points, and they really have very little access to supply, and they have about either 2 or 3 ways to get out, and it's extremely easy to just build siege weapons where they spawn and completely lock them out of the game, because it's really hard for them to be able to build siege weapons without zoning out, requeuing somewhere else to get supply, or having people zone in that have supply to be able to build siege weapons to counter this. As you can see here, I have like a simple arrow cart here, and it's able to fend off quite a bit of people. But if we expand upon this, just one arrow cart, so we build a trebuchet, a couple ballistas, there's really nothing that they're going to be able to really do about it if you just cut off both of their spawns. So theoretically, you could cut off both of their spawns with maybe 20 or 30 people, and just hold everyone in the zone in like these locations. I don't know if this has been done yet, but it needs to be addressed, because I think it will eventually happen, and I think people are going to be extremely pissed when they're locked out of an entire zone of WvW World for almost a week. Number 5 is that ballistas should not be able to attack through gates. I think this is extremely broken, because 2 of them is probably more DPS than a burning oil, and it's very hard for them to do anything about it other than like trebucheting that area. I don't think this is something that's intended either, because just from a flavor standpoint, you really wouldn't think that you could shoot ballistas through a gate. So this is done most effectively through assist targeting. So you have someone stand on the ballista, and you have either a guildmate or a party mate run up to like the top of the wall and grab a target that's on the gate or close to the gate. Then they assist that target and they shoot their ballista. It's going to go through the wall, and it's going to do a crap load of damage. You can also just spam your ballista's 2 key on the gate, and it will eventually attack, but having an assist target will allow you to consistently attack instead of having to spam it and it go off every once in a while. But if for some reason you don't have an assist target, you can just spam the gate and it will attack the gate, the people around the gate, eventually. And even if the numbers don't show up on your screen, you are actually hitting them. I've confirmed this by going over and looking. So number 6 I feel like could be kind of controversial, I guess, but I think instead of making the supply camp captains invulnerable to prevent, like, EXP flipping, I guess is what the reason that they're invulnerable is. So if you kill a supply camp captain, you can cap the supply camp, and then theoretically you could have another server just immediately cap the supply camp after you cap it, and you could flip back and forth to get, tons of EXP. So I'm thinking they made the supply camp captains invulnerable because of that. I don't like this because there's often times where you're at a keep and someone will attack a supply camp when you're not there real quick, and you have to go back and cap it again. So if this happens, you have to stand around with a bunch of people waiting for like 4 minutes while the supply camp captain is just like running around, doing quite a bit of damage, and it's just not fun. Like just sitting there for 5 minutes, not being able to really do anything. So maybe like lowering the cooldown on the invulnerability. I think the best way to do it is to just say, well, you can only get EXP for your first 5 supply camp caps per hour. So if 2 servers want to flip supply camps for the first 5 caps per hour, they can do that. I don't think it's going to be extremely effective, and it's probably more trouble than it's worth to coordinate that in a World v World setting. I think it'll be a lot better than just having the thing be invulnerable for like 4 or 5 minutes, because sitting around for 5 minutes is really boring. Number 7 is going to be to see guildies on the map from wherever you are, like you can see party members. I really don't understand their intention here. A lot of times, if guildies are in the middle of the battle, they're not going to add you to their party, and you can request to be added to their party, but there's really no reason, I feel like, that you can't have guildies be able to be seen on the World v World maps from far away. Also, as a part 2 to number 7, I think that you should be able to see battles on the map to be seen from farther away. Because I always see pugs running around kind of aimlessly, and it's because they'll spawn and there won't be any battles on their map, so they'll just be running around not knowing really what to do. And unless you're part of a guild, you really don't know exactly where to go when you spawn because no one's telling you where to go. I definitely think you need to make World v World way more pug friendly, so they can organize a little easier than just having to be in a guild. At this point, being in a guild is obviously better for World v World because of the sheer, organization aspect of being in a guild. But you really want to make sure that you're tailoring World v World to be fun for pugs, and if they're running around aimlessly for 20 minutes not being able to fight, it's going to really turn them off. So number 8 is going to be a grouping system for World v World that's larger than 5 people. I really feel like there needs to be something implemented where a guild can all be in one party, and this isn't going to just necessarily benefit a guild, but it's going to benefit pugs too, because pugs are going to run around and you can actually invite them to your party and it'll allow them to follow around and be much more effective in World v World than kind of aimlessly wandering around trying to kind of follow a guild and not really know where they're going. So by being able to join large guilds parties is going to help pugs enjoy the game more, because they are going to feel like they're contributing more than just kind of being dead weight. Number 9 is going to be some way to gain XP for buffing people that kill people. So on my warrior, oftentimes I would just pick up my Banner of Discipline and spam the number 2 skill that would grant AoE Fury when my guild didn't have Fury up. So obviously casting Fury on 20 people is better than me shooting someone with a rifle, as far as the DPS output that I'm going to get from that. But missing out on the XP and the contribution kind of sucked. To put it into perspective, I often ended up in silver or bronze when I focused on buffing, but gold contribution when I just attacked, in addition to getting the XP, the bonus XP from killing a player that you attack. I really do think this needs to be addressed, because buffing and AoE buffs and things like that are the key to World v World. So you want to make sure that people are doing that are incentivized to do that, instead of not incentivized to do that, because obviously attacking people is way more beneficial for you yourself. So these are 9 suggestions that I really think are going to improve World v World after Beta Weekend 3. Obviously these aren't suggestions that are completely going to change the game in World v World, but I do think there's minor changes that can really improve the game experience for not only just hardcore guild World v World members, but solo players who are going to be the base of a worldview world experience. Obviously, the majority of people in a worldview world are probably going to belong to some sort of guild, but the solo players need to be able to have fun too, and I really think that these changes are going to mainly affect them and make their experience a lot more fun. Please let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree or disagree with my comments, and please post any other suggestions you have to improve Worldview World. Like I said, I will be submitting this to ArenaNet, so hopefully they can look at it and maybe implement some of these changes before release. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my YouTube or follow my live stream or my Twitter. Thanks for watching.